Bracadiawa, Bracadiawa Shai, Bracadiawa, Bracadiawa Shai, Bracadiawa, Bracadiawa Shai. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakodash. Double honors, apostles, and others of great millstone. Peace and salutation to you, beloved Akim, that is pushing this word in sincerity and truth, with humiliation on the cross of forbearance. To you I salute. This is the brother Zion one back with you another lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Going into prophecy, earthquakes. All right, it says a powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake strikes Colombia and Ecuador. All right, in the Americas. All right, you see that? It says a powerful earthquake struck western Colombia on Monday morning, sending shockwaves through the country into neighboring Ecuador, forcing thousands of people to rush from their homes and workplaces into a sudden scramble for safety. And this prophecy, I wish I spoke about this. It's according to a report from the Associated Press. The United States Geological Survey and Colombians' own geological service both measured the quake at magnitude 7.4. The epicenter was located near San Jose del Palmar in the Choco department, roughly 250 miles, 400 kilometers west of Bogota. The tremor occurred at a significant depth, which may have limited surface destruction, even as the shaking proved intense across a wide area. Authorities reported no immediate word of deaths, serious injuries, or major structural collapse in the first hours after the quake, yet the sudden jolt was strong enough to empty streets and plazas in multiple cities in Bogota. Building alarms blared and residents poured onto sidewalks. At the time, there are no reports of injuries or structural damage, only some cracks in buildings, Bogota Mayor Carlos Galan said. The same shaking reached Ecuador, where residents also felt the ground move and many stepped outside. As a precaution, the shake struck at approximately 7:34 a.m. local time, catching people as they began their workday or morning routines. So, you see how these things come when people least expect it on a regular regular journey. These things happen uh, when people least expect. You see, the latest events arrived after a grim regional backdrop. It follows two powerful back-to-back earthquakes of magnitude 7.2 and 7.5 that struck Venezuela in late June. Those twin disasters destroyed hundreds of buildings and killed more than 5,000 people, leaving a region still recovering from massive loss and disruption. Judgment of the Lord by in Colombia's Pacific Coastal Department of Choco, near the epicenter, local officials began assessing possible impacts in communities, including the departmental capital of Quibdó. Let me jump on down. The depth of the quake reported in the range of roughly 80 to 107 kilometers by different agencies likely reduced the intensity of surface shaking compared with a shallower event of the same magnitude. Still, the force was unmistakable. People in high rises felt floors sway. Office workers and residents abandoned elevators and stairwells in orderly but urgent evacuations. You see that? So, yeah, man, that's the earthquake. You know, you got a lot of earthquakes in these, for the year, plenty. That one in Venezuela, catastrophic damage. Now I see a report. Let me see. This is a recent report. Salaki, give me a minute. This is a recent report. It's uprising over there. Colombia's earthquake sparks civil warfare as a group threatens insurrection. A far-left guerrilla group has issued a direct call for uprising in Colombia in the hours after a powerful earthquake struck the nation, raising immediate fears of renewed civil conflict under a newly installed hardline government. According to a report from Express, the National Liberation Army (ELN) published a series of messages on its website urging the Colombian people to join the protests, an insurrection against President Abelardo de la Espriella, who was sworn in only days earlier. The 7.4 earthquake tremor hit on the afternoon of August 10th, centered 5 kilometers east of San Jose del Palmar. Its force was felt across multiple cities, including Medellin, where buildings were evacuated amid scenes of panic reported on social media. The death toll stood at 70 at the time of the Express report, with the scale of the destruction adding to an already volatile, volatile political atmosphere. De La Espriella, a conservative known for his uncompromising stance toward illegal and armed groups, has previously declared that such organizations must surrender or be treated as military targets. You see that? So, hey, this beautiful, this prophecy. All right, this prophecy, right? Because these things are about to happen simultaneously. Let me show you that in the scriptures, right? Every word of the Most High is pure, boy. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest paths with signs. Pass these are signs which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. You see? Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, you see that, and uproars of the people in the world. You see the earthquakes and then and the uproars. Then shall thou understand that the Most High speak of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is made in the world had beginning and the end is manifest. You see that? The end is manifest. Mean the last seconds of the end. You see? So you got they say they treat them as military targets, man. The ELN's public challenge comes as the new president moves decisively away from the negotiation focused approach of his predecessor, Gustavo Petro de la Espriella, has argued that the peace process has failed and that President violence demands a firmer response. He entered office with backing of Donald Trump and has pledged to align Colombia with the shield of the Americas, a regional coalition aimed at confronting drug trafficking that emerged from a summit hosted by Trump early in the year. Analysts note that the armed groups have grown strong in recent years, as reported by The Guardian and cited in the Express coverage. These organizations have gathered strength and resources in recent years, with the ELN alone estimated to have about 6,300 members between armed fighters and unarmed support. You see that? It says Gladys Gonzalez, an analyst with the International Crisis Group for the Andes, observed that the DL Esperella's ascent will reinforce this right-forward shift across much of Latin America and consolidate a regional bloc of conservative governments against a dwindling number of left-wing administrations. The new president has also signaled a sharp change in foreign policy, announcing plans to restore diplomatic relations with Israel while cutting ties with Cuba and Nicaragua, which he has described as tyrannies. Boy, I tell you, cutting ties with Cuba and Nicaragua, which he has described as tyrannies. Boy, these devils, them get they hand and everything, boy. These moves combined with ELN's explicit call for insurrection in the immediate aftermath of the earthquake have intensified concerns that Colombia could be sliding toward a dangerous new phase of internal confrontation. So, you see, we about to see uproars over there soon. You see, you know, we about to see uproars. You see, we in some beautiful times, man. We in some beautiful times. All right, show you prophecies moving. All right. It says, verse 6, even so the times also the highest are plain beginners and wonders and powerful works and ending in effects and signs. The signs is all around us. All right. Okay. The signs is all around us. Because Yahweh Shai spoke about these things. All right. This is Matthew 24 and 3, and they can jump on down. And he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, what shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and at the end of the world? All right. All right. The end of an age. All right. The end of Idumean's reign. Okay. Let me jump on down. He says, verse 6, and ye shall have wars and rumors of wars. See that you be no trouble, for all these things must come to pass. The end is not yet. So these things must come to pass, for the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes. That's plural. All you see is plural. In diverse places. All these are beginning of sorrows for our people. You see that? Earthquakes. All we've seen is earthquakes for the year. And you know, I thought about too the spirit when I saw this what happened in Colombia. I say, but you could imagine, people hold on to these material things and vanity. And just by one earthquake, you could lose everything. All right? One earthquake, you could lose everything. Holding on to these material things. And earthquakes could make you poverty just so that swallow everything in the earth. So why not hold on to Yahweh Shemel Shai? I mean, for us, we ain't care about these things on this earth. You could have them and then lose them. How you think about that? You could have a brand new car. One earthquake, that gone. House gone. Your life gone. Boy, that's why you're supposed to fear the Lord, boy. And our people wicked down there in Colombia. They serving these damn idols, boy. You see what happened to Venezuela? Ephraim joined on the idols, but leave him alone. Our people heavy in the idolatry, but you see, they need to repent. These scourges for amendment. But they ain't gonna turn from their wickedness. And that's why it's important to fear the Lord, but Yahweh Shemel Shai, but in these last days, our people don't fear the Lord, especially in the northern kingdom, heavy in the idolatry. So these continue to happen. These scourges are continue to come at them. You see that? The judgment is going to keep on coming. What we seeing now, we're going to see some worse times. More earthquakes. All right. The Lord say, fear ye not me? You don't gonna fear me? All right then. The Most High ain't playing these last days. All right. He basically, all right. Yahweh Shemashai, whatever comes to this mo, ain't gonna return on them, boy. All right. So, we in serious times, boy. Okay? We in some serious times. We in beautiful times. We in the greatest times ever and the worst times ever. All right? It's an honor to serve the Lord in these times, boy. You see? It's an honor to praise Yahweh Shemel Shai. Continue to fight. We got to fight Malachiam and continue to hold on to this truth. This is our covering. This is our shield. To Wadi Yahweh Shemel Shai. But I just want to bring it out. Shalom.